Say they've done these kind of studies before for the polio virus, but for the coronavirus, they say they'll be looking at what comes from your toilet for at least the next 9 months. I'm Sheena Elsie for Spectrum News.
Here it is, the news about the coronavirus.
Using one of his ponies to spread joy to seniors during the pandemic.
That's right.
Princess the pony. She is a 30-year-old
The news about
Welsh
the
pony
coronavirus.
living at Equine Differences in Oberlin. Recently, Princess and her handlers have taken her to 4 different nursing homes around the Cleveland area to meet some of the residents. Since seniors are on lockdown during this quarantine, some are getting lonely and depressed. Amy Zahner is the program director at Equine Differences in Oberlin, and she says the seniors at the nursing homes were ecstatic to see Princess making window visits.
The amount of joy that it brought to them was something that we never imagined. They were trying to reach out their window and pet the pony, even though they couldn't. They were talking to Princess. Princess actually stopped at one room, at one window, and she spent a good 3 minutes neighing back and forth with the residents that she was visiting.
Zahner says during this health crisis, Princess will be making more pony stops at nursing homes in Northeast Ohio. Wild weekend weather-wise, snow in parts of the state Saturday, and then on Sunday, a powerful line of storms packing wind gusts near 70 miles an hour, knocking out power to thousands of customers across the state. And in its wake,
Here it is.
plenty of visual images. This
The
is
news
hail
about
that
the
fell in Grove City,
coronavirus.
southwest of Columbus. Meanwhile, a bright rainbow painting the sky across the capital city.
That's right.
What lies ahead?
The news
Well, let's
about
get
the
checked out by the
coronavirus.
forecast.
It was a bumpy evening as showers, even some strong thunderstorms pushed through, especially just west of Cleveland. Even in downtown, we measured a wind gust up over 40 miles per hour. The weather calming down a bit tonight, but still some showers passing by. Late tonight, as temperatures drop, I can't rule out a few snowflakes trying to make sand or some ice pellets as we'll head down to the upper 30s in many areas. Some frost Tuesday morning, then we turn the corner and much more spring-like weather. Unfortunately, stormy weather arrives toward the end of the week. Speaking of storms, this is a potent area of low pressure, typical spring storm with an atypical start where we had temperatures very cold this morning. It was strong enough to get instability all the way up to Lake Erie, allow for some severe weather to develop, in some cases without even lightning, and then the cool air coming back in on the back side of that as temperatures drop off tonight toward the upper 30s. Secondary front comes in behind that, and that'll spell us with a chance for some frost by Tuesday morning. Here's Futurecast here through the night. Rain showers. Don't be surprised if you wake up before dawn and there's some snow falling. Temperature is going to be about 35 to 40 degrees. We'll see things transition back over to passing rain showers into the afternoon. Well, look at these high temperatures by 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Still only in the 40s. Winds off the lake. Just not a great Monday, but just got to hang in there. Because as we turn the page into late Tuesday, after a very chilly Tuesday morning in the 30s with frost and even a hard freeze, the temperature gets dialed back up very quickly as we head toward the second half of the week, already back in the 50s by Tuesday afternoon. So here's your Skycast. In the morning tomorrow, perhaps some rain mixed in with some snow. Don't be surprised if you see that. No snow accumulation, but just kind of a blustery, raw day for us Monday with passing rain showers back during the afternoon. We'll struggle to get out of the mid-40s. We'll drop off quickly into the 30s Monday night. A threat for frost early Tuesday morning. Once we get past Tuesday, though, we really turn around. Take a look at the extended forecast. 54 Tuesday, approaching 60 Wednesday. Then we jump into the 70s Thursday and Friday. Unfortunately, we have to deal with more showers and storms as we head toward the end of the week. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll break down this in your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Right now, here's a live look at your Storm Track Doppler radar.
The reported numbers are probably going to get worse before they get better.
The push for reopenings is also pushing COVID projections higher. After the break, the risk states are taking by loosening restrictions. But before we head to the break, here are some of the people doing their part to stay home and stay safe. All part of the governor's initiative in this Together Ohio.
We've always been Ohio strong. And now, we need that strength more than ever. It's up to all of us to stay home, stay positive, and stay healthy. And even though right now we can't gather together, in Ohio, we will always stand together.
Did you know that customers who use a Spectrum Mobile calculator see they could be saving money every month, even hundreds of dollars a year? The calculator will show you in 3 easy steps which plans fit your family's needs and how much you could save by switching to Spectrum Mobile. Whether it's by the gig, unlimited, or a combination of both, you'll only pay for the data you need. Try the Spectrum Mobile calculator today by going to spectrummobile.com/save.
The weather on the one, we've got a large band of precipitation.
Your morning news, weekday mornings on Spectrum News 1. Sunday mornings, take an in-depth look at your community. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer, a half-hour show dedicated to the important issues, driven to bring decision makers together, and committed to elevating discussion and debate. Your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kallmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum News 1. Exclusively on Spectrum. Spectrum News 1, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Weather and the sky has always fascinated me, and I live with what I do. I come home, look at the weather forecast, and it's really a part of my life. It's not just a job, it is my passion. I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Elwell. We have a very experienced weather team, and we know what's important to Ohioans as they make their plans every day, because we are part of the community. I'm Eric Elwell, Chief Meteorologist, Spectrum News 1.
As the White House and Congress debate what they should do next to help the U.S. economy recover, at least 47 states have now loosened their coronavirus restrictions. But as President Trump urges states to move forward, coronavirus concerns have hit closer to home. A key projection of coronavirus deaths has been raised. Karen Kafa now with the latest from Washington.
The April jobs report was historically dismal. 20.5 million American jobs lost. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told Fox News Sunday it may not even be the worst of the coronavirus crisis.
The reported numbers are probably going to get worse before they get better, but that's why we're focused on rebuilding this economy.
As for another stimulus, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow, speaking to ABC's This Week, says to wait to see results of the previous package.
I think that many people would like to just pause for a moment and take a look at the economic impact of this massive assistance program.
This as President Trump urges states to move forward with getting back to business even as concerns hit close. Dr. Anthony Fauci, CDC Director Robert Redfield, and FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn all observing quarantine after contact with a White House staffer who tested positive. Economic advisor Kevin Hassett acknowledging the current risks of working inside the White House, even as precautions are taken.
We've all been exposing ourselves to risks, under the best guidance we can possibly have to keep us safe, but we're willing to take that chance.
And researchers at the University of Washington warn of greater risks as states further reopen, raising their projected U.S. coronavirus death toll to 137,000 by August. In Washington, Karen Kafa, Spectrum News.
Mother's Day turned out to be very active. Take a look at this video shot in Marion County in north central Ohio. What we were seeing here and what is on the way for the rest of the week. A lot to talk about in your weather on the ones straight ahead.
Spectrum News 1, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Oxygen Sundays begin with Snap.
This is her husband, and he's laying here dead.
You don't do that unless you're cold-hearted and you're evil.
She thrives on deception and manipulation.
Oxygen Sundays continue with deadly cults.
You could tell them to go out and kill somebody, and they would do it.
This has got to be some kind of cult. Oxygen Sundays on the #1 true crime destination.
That's not a human being. That's a monster.
Oxygen Sundays begins tonight at 6/5 Central. Oxygen True Crime 24/7.
Being involved in the community really allows us to be in tune with our neighborhoods. These people invite us into their homes, and to meet them face to face is extremely rewarding.
This is community. This is Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
News channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Maybe I'll run for president, maybe I won't, but I will tell you that I'm not going to go away.
I don't think Michigan can become the Michigan of old.
We're probably the first professional sports team in the world that was built by the fans.
We're the biggest ice cream shipper in the nation, setting the standard for American ice cream.
I get to live my dream. I mean, what more could I ask for?
Conversations, Sunday and Tuesday night at 9 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Good Sunday night to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Galwell. Hopefully you had Mother's Day without too many problems with the weather. We had some, though, and you can see where we had some damage reports of some strong winds in and around the Cleveland metro area. Reports there at the Lakefront Airport of nearly a 50-mile-an-hour gust there over toward Vermilion, and points west from there, 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts came through there. Some tree damage reported out of some of these thunderstorms. Luckily, as they moved east, they weakened somewhat. There was quite a bit more action down across Columbus, Dayton, and Cincinnati, where they had numerous reports of wind damage and power outages. At one point, nearly 20,000 people across Ohio had no power. We're seeing that number drop now as storms exit, move out. Cold air moving in. A good bet for frost by the time we get to Tuesday morning. But as we get past that, a dramatic change in our weather pattern. We'll flip the switch from winter-like or early spring-like to late spring and early summer type weather by the time we get to the weekend. We're talking about a pretty dramatic warm-up. The issue with the warmth will come a threat for showers and storms. We'll have showers tomorrow, perhaps mixed in with snowflakes. But as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, a chance to dry out as the temperatures start to moderate. Then as the warmth really gets here, a front
the
kind of
news
gets
about
stuck in
the
the area
coronavirus.
while frontal boundaries approach.
That's
so
right.
Thursday,
the news
Friday,
about the coronavirus.
Into Saturday, we're going to have to deal with on and off chances for showers and storms. Here's your 7-day forecast. A couple of mornings here, we may have to contend with some frost. Monday morning and again Tuesday morning, especially south of the lake. Wednesday, really the pick day. Lots of sunshine, nearing 60 degrees. But if you really want the warmth, you got to wait till late in the week. Just pack the umbrella with you if you're heading out to enjoy those temperatures in the 70s. Up to 73 Saturday. Temperatures look to stay warm even into the following week. So some good news there. Now a live look at your radar.
For new and expectant mothers, dealing with the pandemic is adding stress to an already difficult time in their lives. Our Carlin Wells spoke with a new mother who is experiencing a whirlwind of emotions, but is nonetheless grateful to be celebrating her first Mother's Day with her newborn baby boy.
Hannah Lockhart says a year ago she never would have imagined that she'd be celebrating her first Mother's Day this weekend.
And my husband and I have been trying to have a baby for 3 years, so
The world?
it was a big surprise and very exciting.
Lockhart says she also never would have imagined she would be pregnant and giving birth during a global health pandemic.
I mean, it definitely was difficult because I work in healthcare also. I work in a skilled nursing facility, so I was really nervous being pregnant just to protect the baby, that, you know, to keep him safe. I was nervous being around patients. I was nervous with admissions that were coming from the hospital.
While pregnant, Lockhart developed a pregnancy complication, which ultimately led her to give birth to her baby boy Liam on April 14th, 2 months before her due date. She's been by Liam's side at University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital for the last 25 days.
He's no longer in the intensive care unit. This is like a transitional unit. But he was born with a lot of respiratory issues, respiratory failure. He was on the ventilator for a few weeks.
Here it
Just
is.
some different
The
complications.
news
that come
about
along
the
with
coronavirus.
but now he's
That's
down
right.
just needing like a tiny bit
The
of
news
supplemental
about the
oxygen.
coronavirus.
And over in this unit, we're going to be working a lot on him learning how to eat and get bigger and get ready to go home.
She says the experience of pregnancy and childbirth during such an uncertain time has reminded her what's most important and what Mother's Day really means.
It'll just be me and my son, so I guess that's kind of what it's meant to be, you know, to celebrate moms. But I'm just so thankful to be a mom because, like I said, I didn't know if that would ever happen a year ago, so it'll be good to spend it with him.
Reporting in Cleveland, Carlin Wells, Spectrum News.
The news continues all day long right here on Spectrum News 1. New in our next half hour, we're going to have the latest on the pandemic, and of course, a look at your weather on the One's forecast is just moments away. But first, time for Ohio Voices.
Journalism and trauma is a topic that wasn't discussed during my time in journalism school, and that's the reason I actually left daily reporting, was from covering the most horrific events that had happened to people in the area where I grew up. And so I don't want to send students out as journalism school graduates without having some discussion about the effects of what the job does to them and also to the communities they serve. And I'm a little bit tired of this constant harangue against journalists who are human beings, who have bad hair days the same as everybody else, kids to feed and put to bed, and all of those things. Fallible humans trying to do the best they can. I'm Nerissa Young, and I'm an associate lecturer in the E.W. Scripps School of Journalism at Ohio University.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give during this coronavirus outbreak. Patients are counting on life-saving transfusions. Visit redcrossblood.org.
Be a good dad. It gave me a chance to think about the things that not only matter to me, but to everybody. It also gave me a better perspective on news. I spent a number of years in Cleveland and Cincinnati, and it's given me an opportunity to see every corner of the state. I want to empower our communities and redefine what a news channel can be.
Every morning, the people of Ohio have the opportunity to wake up and start fresh.
We want to be a different kind of news channel, putting storytelling and community first.
Well, it's really humbling to be invited to our neighbors' homes and help them plan their day.
Welcome to Your Morning News. I'm Sophia Constantine.
Let's take a look at your weather on the One. We've got a large band of precipitation.
Your Morning News, weekday mornings on Spectrum News 1. Spectrum News 1, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Maybe I'll run for president, maybe I won't, but I will tell you that I'm not going to go away.
I don't think Michigan can become the Michigan of old.
We're probably the first professional sports team in the world that was built by the fans.
We're the biggest ice cream shipper in the nation, setting the standard for American ice cream.
I get to live my dream. I mean, what more could I ask for?
Conversations, Sunday and Tuesday night at 9 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Curtis Jackson. Let's get you up to date with the very latest on the pandemic. The Ohio Department of Health planning to mail 1,200 postcard invitations to random households across the state. The state has new coronavirus tests which use blood draws, not swabs. And they say the antibody tests are faster and more effective. Kentucky hospitals slowly easing restrictions on visitors. Beginning Wednesday, hospitals there will begin allowing one visitor per patient. The university in Oklahoma City had its graduation ceremony cut short on Zoom after someone posted a racial slur and a swastika. The university president says law enforcement is being called in. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announces a modest easing of his country's lockdown and outlines a roadmap for lifting restrictions this summer. The latest on the pandemic in just a moment, but first, a cold and breezy Mother's Day. Our weather team tracking potential severe storms as well. For the latest, here's your Weather on the One's forecast.
Showers and even severe thunderstorms moving away. Now we turn our attention to the temperatures, which are on their way down, and the threat for frost by the time we get to Tuesday morning. A look at some of the storms. This was video shot from Marion County, just west of the city of Marion. What was a gustnado, almost looked like a tornado, but this was on the leading edge, so it did pick up some dirt from the field there, but this was not a tornado. No damage observed with this particular cell, but we did have reports of wind damage from many of the thunderstorms that came through. Heavy thunderstorms pushing off to the east here late tonight. Leftover showers will filter in behind it. Yes, there's a chance we could have a few ice pellets or even snowflakes mix in late tonight in the northeast. Still more passing showers for the daytime tomorrow. Here's your forecast for select cities. Temperatures chilly to start the week. Upper 40s, Cleveland, Akron, Canton with some lingering showers. Mostly cloudy elsewhere. Temperatures will struggle to get to 50 in Zanesville and Lima. Your complete forecast through the week on the Ones and Minutes.
While one day's numbers don't create a trend, the new ones being reported in Ohio on Sunday certainly seem to be going in the right direction. The number of new cases, deaths, hospitalizations, and ICU admissions are all below the daily average from the last 3 weeks. All of them, except for hospitalizations, are the fewest of any day during that time period. This all comes as testing continues to ramp up in Ohio, the state reporting that there have been 8,000 new tests. The CEO of a biotech company says he is optimistic about an artificial antibody treatment for coronavirus that could enter clinical trials next month. But he says it is too soon to know whether it will help prevent or treat infection.
So we should be optimistic about this approach, but we have to get real data. In this environment, there's nothing that can substitute for real science and real data.
Unlike a vaccine, which triggers the immune system to develop antibodies, lab-made antibodies are infused directly into the blood, providing temporary immunity. College and high school graduates are losing out on the opportunity to walk the stage with their fellow classmates as the coronavirus pandemic continues. Many schools are doing virtual commencements, but some are offering more creative solutions. Our Rachel Monjovi takes us to a school in Northeast Ohio where students are preparing for an in-person graduation ceremony.
High school seniors across the country are missing out on one of their biggest milestones due to COVID-19.
It's definitely frustrating. It's frustrating to see that the classes past have gotten, their opportunity to shine and that we get the lower end of the, the stick, but it's not bad. We have to be, courteous and gracious that they're even doing this for us.
Graduation signifies an end of an era and a beginning of a new one. It's the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice.
Commencement is the celebration of pretty much the 13 years that these kids have put into their education. So, we don't take that very lightly here, and they deserve something. They've lost so much this year, and all the staff, all the administrators, we just feel awful.
While most schools are holding virtual graduation ceremonies, here at Fairview High School, they have a unique approach to graduation that's a bit more intimate for students and their families.
I love the way our school is handling it. I think it's a great opportunity to let our students walk the stage and allow us to have a sense of closure for the school year. It's great that they're allowing us to not walk the stage with our classmates, but do it so spiritually, like they're still there in our hearts even though we can't see them.
The district will be holding individual ceremonies in the school's auditorium over several days for all 130 students graduating. Each graduate can bring 5 family members to the ceremony to watch as they walk across the stage, get their diploma and picture taken. Teachers will be in the front lawn cheering on the class of 2020.
There's such a family feel within this district that we just want to do more for our kids. They deserve it. They have really matured a lot through this process and understanding, bigger issues in the world and what the world is going through right now. I'm really proud of them just for coming along with me on this journey, and it's going to be very special for them and their families.
Fairview High School's graduation will be held June 8th, 9th, and 10th. They're also inviting the class of 2020 back during the next winter break to make up for missing out on prom and other special events. For Spectrum News, I'm Rachel Monjovi.
On the subject of sending off seniors, the University of Dayton celebrating its graduates with a virtual commencement this weekend. A record number of students receiving degrees. They had a brand new way of celebrating that moment in the midst of the pandemic, the school releasing a video of the graduation ceremony for students. But President Eric Spina says that the school will soon hold an in-person commencement. For seniors like Alex Powell, this isn't how they envisioned their college experience coming to an end, but they're not letting that overshadow the memories that they have created for the last 4 years.
We had our last 3 or so months taken away, but we had 4 amazing years, and so we have all of that to think about and relive.
All graduates will receive their degrees in the mail. UD again planning on an in-person commencement once the public health crisis has subsided. An Oberlin horse training facility is using one of its ponies to spread some joy to seniors during this quarantine lockdown. Our Enrique Correa now with more on the pony's window visits.
She's a good little pony. She's here just to say hello.
Meet Princess the Pony. She's a 30-year-old Welsh pony who lives at Equine Differences in Oberlin. Recently, Princess and her handlers have taken her to 4 different nursing homes around the Cleveland area to meet some of the residents. Some seniors are on lockdown during this quarantine, and some are getting lonely and depressed.
There is no activity for these seniors who are in quarantine in a room by themselves. So we took Princess to that nursing home and we went around the entire building, from window to